Okay guys, it's week 5 of our remote learning. I can't believe it, looking at my calendar here. Wow, week 5. So today we are starting our story. This week it is earthquake, eruptions, and other events that change the earth. So it's another nonfiction text. So we're going to be looking at our vocab today and previewing the story, looking at a map with different ways that the earth changes. So I want you to get your book out and turn to page 470. That's where we're going to start today, page 470. So get ready while I get ready. I gotta move my stand up a little bit so you can see everything. Okay, so here's what we've got. Page 270 and 470 and 471. This is where we're starting. Our weekly launch this week is a map. A couple of times ago it was a timeline, infographic, but today it's a map. So you can see that we've got the continents here in green, the water in blue. So just a quick review, there are 7 continents. We live on the continent of North America. To the south of us is South America. We have Africa, that's 3. Europe is 4. Asia is 5. Australia is 6. And south of all of us is Antarctica, which is the 7th continent, which are defined as areas of large land masses. So what this map is showing is different changes that the earth goes through all over the world. So it's titled, When Earth Changes. Our planet is always changing. Volcanoes, earthquakes, and other natural disasters can affect the environment on Earth. Environment is that where everywhere where we live, what the weather is like, plants, nature, everything that works together. And so we're going to read about each of these different places all around the world on how the changes on Earth have affected everything. So right here it says Anchorage, Alaska. A 1964 earthquake changed the environment in parts of Alaska. Ocean water flooded dry land, destroying plant and animal habitats. So it flooded. When the earthquake came through, maybe there was a bit of a tsunami triggered that created a wave that flooded areas. So that was in 1964. Let's move over to here in Central Africa. Lake Chad. At one time, Lake Chad was one of the largest lakes in Africa. About 50 years ago, the lake started to dry up because of drought, meaning there was very little rainfall. Today, many animals in the area struggle to survive. So Lake Chad has shrunk considerably because of the lack of rain. Then we move over here to Tunguska, Russia. In 1908, some people in Russia saw a huge fireball in the sky. Then they heard an explosion that knocked down about 80 million trees. Today, scientists think the fireball was a space object, such as a comet. So, space rock coming from into the Earth's atmosphere, burning up and crashing into the Earth and destroying things. Over here we have the Himalayas, the mountain range. The Himalayas include many of the world's highest peaks. The mountain range was formed when 2 land masses slid into each other millions of years ago and pushed up the ground. Even today, the mountains continue to rise. And the last one, Mount Tambora, right here, Indonesia. In 1815, a huge volcano erupted in Indonesia. Volcanic ash drifted all around the earth, blocking out so much sunlight that the summer of 1816 was one of the coldest in history. We know what it feels like when the sun is shining bright and then a cloud comes in front of the sun and it feels considerably cooler. Imagine a huge cloud of not moisture, but dust and ash blocking out the sun, making it feel cooler than it normally would. That's crazy. All of these things change the way the earth is structured on the surface. So that is our weekly question. How do changes on earth affect the environment? Every time something like this happens, it changes the world around us. Physically, the land literally changes depending on what had happened. So we're going to look at that as we listen to our story this week to try to find out what happens when earthquakes and volcanic eruptions happen. This is informational text again, so it gives facts about a certain topic. So we are going to look for page 472, the relationship of ideas within parts of sentences, among sentences in a paragraph, and between and among paragraphs in the text. So connections throughout the text, how those ideas relate. And we're going to look for signal words for the passage of time. So if you look over here in our informational text anchor chart, we're going to see the text structure on this side and the signal words that show you that something's happening. So the events will be in time order. The clues, the signal words, first, next, before, after, finally. If something is comparing and contrasting, they might say likewise, similarly, however, on the other hand. Cause and effect, they might say this happens because that, or because this happened, this happens, or consequently, or if this happens, then that will happen, or therefore. They have also problem and solution structure, where they think this is a problem that leads to this, so we have to do this. Leads to, as a result, or thereby. And finally, description. Most important, for example, in addition. Description means to describe. So they will describe something. So next we're going to switch over to vocab. I'm going to look at our vocab words. I'll write them down for us and give you an example. So let's follow along. You can either write it or just watch and listen. Or if you want to, you can jot it down near the word if you want to have a synonym or something for it. So I'll try to keep both here so that you can see both as I go. So our first word is surface. Surface. What would you call the surface of something? Like if I say I bent down and touched the surface of the pond, what am I telling you? If I touch the surface of something, or if I say, oh, this is a smooth surface right here, or the wall has a bumpy surface, what am I saying? The top of something. The top of something, or the part you can feel. So if we look at our word here, surface is like the outside part of something. So this is the outside part of our wall over here. This is the outside part of our whiteboard. So outside part. So it's the outside part of something. So you don't see the inside. So when we walk around on the surface of the earth, that's the ground, the grass, the dirt, the landforms. That's what we walk on. And actually, that's funny because that's the next one. Our next word is landforms. And landforms are any natural features of the Earth's surface. Natural feature of the Earth's surface. Maybe it's a hill. Maybe it's a lake. That is a natural feature of Earth's surface. Remember, we don't see anything below the surface. And our next word is processes. Well, if we know a process is steps in something, processes that we hear about in our story this time is actions that happen over time. Actions that happen over time. Our next word is damaging. Damaging. If there are going to be damaging winds, what might that mean? Damaging. Damaging means that there's going to be something negative that happens or something dangerous. Like if a storm came through and there were damaging winds, that means the winds were super strong and maybe they blew over a tree and something was harmed. So damaging means harming or dangerous. Dangerous. Harming or dangerous. Right there is damaging. And our last little word is produces. Produces. Oh. I know Kellogg's cereal company produces Frosted Flakes. So what does that mean if something produces something? It means that they make it. So produces means make. It makes or forms something. So what I want you guys to do is think about these different words and how they might come up in our story. And then you'll take a picture walk today so that tomorrow you can have some idea of what our story is going to be. This is going to have tons of great nonfiction text features, again, because it's real. So you're going to see maps, you're going to see picture with captions, you're going to see diagrams with labels. Check that out. That's a diagram with label. Here's our picture with a caption describing it. You're going to see headings, subheadings, tons of information that we'll gather from this. So hopefully you'll be ready to learn tomorrow. And if you're interested in some of the things you see in the pictures and want to learn more, you can always check on YouTube or National Geographic Kids. They always have wonderful, wonderful resources for you to look at. So you can just type that into Google, National Geographic Kids. And you can find information about volcanoes and landslides and anything that you're interested in. So I'm excited again about this story. And I will talk to you later.